I'm going to assume, oh, there it is. I guess I'm starting. Attorney broker John McConnin here, and I called this a solar home expert. So let me make it clear: attorneys are not supposed to be solar home experts. That's the real estate broker side. I set up solar home experts because I recently put solar on my home. I saw all the statements made by all the people trying to sell solar homes from my home. I began analyzing solar homes recently. I saw a whole bunch of interesting things on the MLS. I have a friend of mine who said that when they were selling a solar home with a lease on it, it became very problematic because I don't want to get into it because I'm an attorney. I can't get any deeper than that. Let me just say that there's a massive need for this because I don't know that we're going to see it today. I really have only seen the first house that we're going to talk about. But I have seen by looking through the various weeks that a lot of homes will say, hey, solar panels are owned, or seller is expecting buyer to take over the lease. And I live in Poway, so I know that our electricity bill, especially in the summertime, can be way up there. But $400 a month is not unusual, especially if there's 4 people living in your home. And $400, I did the calculations earlier, at the current interest rates are about $78,000 to $80,000, the equivalent that you could buy a mortgage with. So if you're looking at the payments of $400 a month, that can buy $80,000 with a mortgage. So if you're buying a home, let's say it's $1 million home, and you're not having to pay, well, you might pay $25 a year for your electricity, but your solar's covering a $400 a month bill, that home might be worth $1 million. You know, assuming fair market value is $1 million, it might be worth $1,080,000. If the same seller were to ask you to pick up a lease, that home might actually be worth, if you're adding $400 a month to your payments, that might be worth $80,000 less. So you can see a massive swing. So I don't think anywhere, it's not, you know, outside the short sale market and the foreclosure market, where sometimes deals can be picked up. And I had upsidedownrealestate.com, and I sold over, well, I've sold over 170 homes. I probably sold 150 short sales way back then. I can tell you that there were deals at the time back then, but there had to be circumstances that surrounded it. But now I'm seeing opportunities that might be stronger. So I'm just going to take a look today. I'm going to be doing this for a lot of areas. I'm going to take a look today. I'm sorry. My picture's here. My camera's there. I should probably have this. Hopefully that's better now. My microphone is there, and I'm about to, and I have a slide share to do over here. So we're going to go to screen 1, and we're going to take a look. Now, when I do a search on the MLS, we're going to do residential. We're going to do 92064, and we're going to see there's 24 homes for sale in Poway right now. And if I cut out this solar panel, there's 114 for sale. Now, in the last few weeks or months while I've been doing this, I've seen the amount of homes for sale in Poway to be consistently over 20%, sometimes over 25%. When we go do the homes in Carlsbad, I've seen that over 10, frequently over 15%. As you go east, the homes get newer and they get nicer up to a certain level. I think this falls apart over like $2 million, but up to a certain area, the newer homes in the better districts, as you go more east, there's a higher concentration of homes with solar panels. And it's frequently because that's where the guys have been selling, knocking on the door saying you can save money on your electricity. And I found out that that's true. We put solar on our home in November. So now, because I don't want to talk, I'm going to be criticizing, I'm going to be critiquing some of these listings. I didn't want the agents' names to be involved. So I sent myself a link with the homes on it. I'm sorry, it's going to be not quite as pretty. And I may decide in the future to just show these with real estate agents' homes, but names on them. But I'm a little concerned that we're going to find some of the ones that I've seen in the past that may make this educational, and I don't really want to tick realtors off for no reason. So for instance, this was, when I sent this listing to myself, I listed the most recent homes on the market first, the most recent. So I'm planning to go through the top 5 or 7 because those are most recently listed. And so this one was listed within the last few days, and it is $899,000, and it came up as one of the 24 homes that have solar panels on them. So this is what my experience is starting to tell me. I don't see anywhere in this listing that the solar panels are paid for. So they could be leased, but the home looks remodeled. Like for instance, if we click through the pictures, well, there we go. We do see solar panels there, but as I'm looking through here, normally we'd see it in the remarks. If the solar panels were paid for, we almost always see the agent saying solar panels are paid for because that's a good thing. If they're not paid for, well, here's a supplement. This could be the supplemental materials down here. I still don't see anything about the solar panels being paid for. So because the house has been fixed up, I'm thinking maybe it really is, and it's not being marketed that properly as I would market it. Or maybe because there's a catch, like maybe the seller is going to ask the buyer to take over the second, and we can talk about in other situations. A lot of times you can take a home and you can get a second that's not, there's no lien against the property. So it's a personal second for these solar loans. So in that case, theoretically, the seller could sell the panels, sell the home with the panels on it, and still be responsible for the loan personally. Now, if I'm a seller and I'm working with a seller and we're not getting a premium for the solar panels, I might talk to the seller about doing a carryback. But this is now we're getting the financing. I'm an attorney, so I can do these things comfortably. But at that point, I've got to advise them about, well, if you go to foreclose, you're not going to be able to take, they could just walk away. And as a second, you may not want to foreclose on the property. Additionally, most likely, if you finance this second as a purchase money second for these people, you probably won't be able to foreclose on them. So really, if you're asking a buyer to take back a second in many circumstances, you won't be able to take the property back. So in this case, it's just a question. If you're paying $400 a month and you'd rather have the buyer pay $400 a month and the buyer's not paying extra for the home, why not do it? Why not send it out then to a servicing company? Will send out the bills, officially collect the money, take a small percentage, pay it to the seller. And if it doesn't happen, well, the buyer's going to have to worry about hurting their credit, at least. So that might increase the likelihood of paying. But we're going to get into that in more detail. If you're a solar home seller, you should call me up. Because if you own the panels, we're going to find a way to make you more money. If you're leasing the panels, we're going to disclose it properly. We're going to compare. We're going to show how much people are saving. We're going to do a really good job. And I'm not afraid to do the proper disclosures because I'm an attorney. This field's wide open, by the way. There's the MLSs, the California Association of Realtors, they're behind the boat on proper disclosures here. So you really do need, I think the realtors need to be solar home expert realtors if you want to have support of a solar home expert with proper disclosures so you can set up things properly so you can get the most value for your clients. Give me a call. I've been setting this up at winnerscheck.org, but it's not ready yet, but it will be soon. But this is just so wide open and realtors need help. So in this case, let me just say one thing about this realtor. They've done a really nice thing. If you look on the MLS, you'll see that they're not accepting offers until next weekend. And that creates an auction environment. A lot of people will come through at the same time and see there's a lot of people interested, and that could help the seller price, go through, at the very least, find the market value of the home. Now, frequently, in my experience, you can go through market value using that technique. I call it a pre-MLS weekend, or we can call it a pre-MLS auction, depending on how comfortable the buyer is. I'm going to go, and let me just pull up my favorite pricing app. Now, this is from my website at Expert Home Prices. Well, if you type in experthomeprices.com, you'll be taken to this page on my website. My website's favoriterealestate.com. Oh, let me see why that didn't work out. That should have worked out. I just did it. I just did it in the last hour. So maybe it hasn't, what they call promulgated throughout the whole net. I guess it has not. But I have a backup. I was worried about that. Let me just pull it over. When you go to Expert Home Prices and you type in your name, you're going to wind up being sent over to this app, which comes from the MLS. It's a value map. It's from CoreLogic. It's by far the best home valuation app I've ever seen. Okay, so I'm going to type, well, let's see. We're going to type in 13920 Chancellor Way. Well, no, we're not going to do that so easily. We're going to just type it in. I thought we cut and paste it. But here we go. 13, maybe I remember this, 920 Chancellor Way, Poway. Okay, so we see the home valuation is at $954,000. Okay, so this seller's using a very technique I've done videos about. This is pretty cool. He has priced the property $899, so he's priced it a little low. He's going to have an auction weekend, and he says all reasonable offers will be considered. Now, he may have told his client they are not going to sell unless they hit the client's number, because that's what I do. And this might be the perfect way to get some excitement in here and explain to the people they're going to have to, maybe they'll get to market value, but they're going to have to pick up the price of the solar panels. But if not, if the solar panels are owned outright, this might be, now you're well armed. You're like, well, this says it's $950. I'm going to do a little more pricing on my own. I'm going to walk around, know the neighborhood. I'm going to know what I want to pay. I'm going to show up that weekend and submit an offer. Maybe it'll work out. I'm sure this seller realtor is hoping that he's going to get open house people walking in, and he's going to represent both sides, both buyer and seller. So if you really want this house, knowing this strategy, I would talk to me. I would refer you over to that agent. Maybe I'd split a referral fee with you. We'd ask for $5,000 referral or $4,000 referral. We would get you this house if you want this house. But that's why you should call me. I'm flexible. I'm a businessman. I'm an attorney. I know what this realtor is doing because this is how I've sold homes. It's a fantastic way to get top dollar for your client. And also as a realtor, you frequently wind up representing the buyer. So that took a lot of time. Let's go to the next one. This time we've got 14496 Southern Hills Lane. I'm going to type that in over here. 14496 Southern Hills Lane, Poway. Let's see what the valuation comes back over here. 3.5, 3.6 if you'll count the 9.8 as I would round it up. And it's at 2.4. But I knew, okay, so I'm pretty sure this thing, the list date is 6/28/2018. And in this case, the MLS pricing data seems to come in significantly higher than this property. So this property is it's priced at $307 a square foot. That is low for Poway, but as you get higher in price, you don't get that. But Poway is about $375 on average a square foot. The homeowner fees are low. I don't know how many out there are looking to buy $2.5 million homes, but let's just see what we can learn. So far, I'm not seeing any mention of the panels in the remarks, the solar panels. Oh, here it is. Oh, wow. They've got a ton of them. Almost 2 acres with sin lawn, artificial turf, and 72 sun power solar panel system for pool and home. Owned, not leased. Now, that to me, I don't know about my pricing yet. I think that it came in a little high. And in this case, we would be driving to the competing homes in Poway, and we would see if this really strikes you as a home you like and a price you like. I'm thinking at $300 a square foot and an estimated square feet of 8,000 square feet. At the moment, I'm thinking this house is a really smoking deal. And I wish I had $2.5 million because we'd be driving over there this weekend. Seriously, my wife would go nuts for this. And I'd be pretty stoked about it too. And at this price, I know it's a good square footage price. The map has it. I wish I could make this map bigger right now. It's off Southern Hills Line. We already knew that. It's in a very good neighborhood. For that matter. Oh, wow. Oh, I know this house. I've been next door to it. My My son's on the Poway High golf team, and I believe that we were at the end of the season. Well, I know these people. His friends live on Southern Hills. So this was the home that's for sale down at the end of the street. My in-laws even comment on it. They went and took a look at it when we went to one of my sons on the golf team graduated this year. I had two. So I know these views. At the moment, this house seems like a good value to me. And the 72 SunPower owned SunPower sun panels are considered some of the best in the industry. They have great warranties. 72 of them must produce a massive amount of electricity. And I would want to know if they had an idea of maybe I guess they're running everything off these systems. They might be saving, those panels might be saving, I don't even want to guess. It seems like I have 24 panels on my roof, and that might save us about $400 a month. And this is 72, and I imagine they have a good exposure. So you might be saving over $1,000 a month on electricity. You know, it seems spectacular. You could be saving the equivalent, at today's rates, maybe a few $100,000 on, in the equivalent mortgage. As I was saying before, if you're saving $1,000 on payments, what does that work out to in terms of a mortgage payment? And it might be the equivalent of buying $200,000 worth of mortgage or more. So in this case, if you were working with me on this, we would check out the homes. Then we would bring in, when I had my solar panels put on my home, I spoke with an expert. I would bring that person in to consult. I mean, I already know it's SunPower system, so there's not enough. I think we wouldn't even have to pay the expert much. He'd come in, make sure they're really SunPower. He'd tell you that they have a 20 to 30-year warranty, that SunPower has stood up for a long time, and it's an American company, although I'm not sure the SunPower is still made in America. They're probably made in Korea or China or Japan like everybody else now. But he would talk to, the pitches from SunPower were really strong 2 or 3 years ago. Now there's some competing panels that make similar pitches, but SunPower has, we don't need to go into it. There's a lot of reasons like SunPower. There's some competitors explain why they might be in better with their inverters. I would imagine this place might be producing so much electricity they could power a solar car. So, you might have your Tesla in the garage. So if you're looking to buy this property, we're going to make sure you understand the solar perfectly. But I think you're going to like the neighborhood. I'll introduce you to one of the neighbors. I mean, it might be a screaming opportunity. I love it. John McConnin. I'm going to do a few more, but anyway, I'm going to be more efficient in the future ones because I realize we could talk about this all day long because how much I like real estate and how much information we could be looking at here. So here's a map. We're looking at, I got to move in closer to read this. Beautiful single-story estate sited on the end of a cul-de-sac. Nothing mentioned in the remarks about solar panels that would typically be seen on the internet. Let me go down to the further information. There isn't any. Let me read this again. Homes offer solar for both home and pool, outdoor kitchen, pool, and spa, and firing. Detached 1,000 square foot guest house boasts living area plus 2 freshly painted 4-car garage, attached garage, drought resistant landscape. Seller will entertain offers between 1,895,000 and 1,099,000. These numbers look 1.995. So a little under 2 million. Their value ranged. Saddlebrook Estates. This is I think a lot of people would be familiar with this area. Twin Peaks is over here. The fields would be near right in there, and this would be nearby. So if you're going down, I live a little past there. Here comes you're coming down to Spolo, you go a little past Poway High, and you make a right into Del Poniente. I never even had to say it. I just drive by it. Poniente. And then you go in here in the back, you make a left, and it's a very nice neighborhood. My son's got friends in there. My son's got friends all over. I guess that's what happens when you go to Poway High School. So it's a great neighborhood, well located, and with respect to the solar power, we see they have panels. The price per square foot's matching up with Poway pretty well for a house this size. It's 5,500 square feet, 5 baths, and I would like to know if the solar panels are owned. I would guess in a house this size they probably are, but again, we'd want to find out what their annual electricity bills were before, compare what, if they have a bunch of kids and you have a bunch of kids, maybe the usage would be the same. If you've got no kids and they had kids, your usage might be less. So the solar panels might be worth a little bit less than you in terms of what they can buy with respect to a mortgage. But we'd want to see their usage. We'd want to estimate if your usage could be similar. And then we could talk about how much money the solar panels are saving if they're owned outright. If they're leased and you're going to have to pay for the lease, well, then the home might be worth a little less. So that's what we're looking at. Let's take a look at one more today. 363 a square foot. Saddlebrook Lane, so it's going to be the same area as the last place. Just you make a left a little sooner, it looks like. Let's look if we can find where the solar is. I've been noticing as I was scanning, I didn't catch it the first time last time, so I'll try again. Owned solar equals low utilities. Okay, that's the beginning of some marketing. The first good solar marketing we've seen. Let me see if in the supplemental comments if they do more. Well, the supplemental comments are extensive, so I'm not going to read through them. But we've got a house value range pricing again. Although in this case, yeah, $100,000 range. The price has been lowered a little bit, 5,700 square feet. I'm sort of interested in what our app says this house is worth. So let me give it a shot and I'll let you know. It's got it at about $2,060,000. So my app is giving me more confidence again. Let's do another. Okay, so this has been on the market for 17 days now. It is, I'm going to have to take my glasses off again and read. We're looking at new construction by Strata. Owned solar panels, which makes sense. New builders frequently put them on there. And it's going to be hard to estimate what a normal family or what any family's usage would be in this home. But the square feet's 4,000 square feet. The list price, they have it at $423.75, which sounds a little high to me, but 4,000 square feet is pretty good. And new homes, the builders do frequently command a premium for a new home because people prefer new. It seems most people these days prefer new homes. Let me see what we have in terms of price, if it's even on the pricing. No, it's got it at 1.2. The pricing app has it at 1.2. I would I think we just have to go see this home because it looks like it's in a nice location. It looks like there might be some work done making the house look nicer. Yeah, you've got landscaping work probably to do. The floors are beautiful. My wife is going to want to see those because we're redoing the floors in our house. The kitchen looks nice. I'm not, well, I won't be negative. It looks great. So I think that, well, we'd have to go see it. That's the bottom line there. Now, here's another set on 1.25 acres, custom lot at the end of a private cul-de-sac. This beautiful property offers the ability to add a stable barn. The main house is at 2,935 square feet and a full guest home. Now, I don't see anything mentioned. Let's see. So we got for pictures. I'm looking for if there's solar panels that we can see in the. Oh, there they are. Yeah, so it has solar panels. If they own the solar panels, as I said before, it could be an opportunity we evaluate. I'm a little concerned when they don't say the solar's owned, because I would think as a realtor, if I was selling a home with solar panels and the solar was owned, I'd be marketing the heck out of the fact that people are going to be able to save money. And I might bring up usage, and I would try to promote that fact. And what I think we're seeing is it doesn't happen often. I think it's because brokers, a lot of realtors are not brokers, and the brokers frequently work with big companies, and they don't want to get themselves in lawsuits, so they want to take it easy on the disclosures. But sometimes people might be hiding the fact that the solar panels are not owned. So that's what I would do. We're going to look at one more today, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so we're at 3.8, where it's in Green Valley Highlands. 3.8, we're on that number again, and it's not surprising. Let's see what we can find out about the solar panels. A well for the grounds and a whole house solar system. Doesn't say the solar's owned up in there. Let's look at the supplemental comments. A lot of supplementals. I didn't see any mention of owned or not. Okay, well, this is the first one I've been doing. You've got an idea what I'll be looking at when we evaluate all these other things. So I don't feel that, although we didn't cover as many as I wanted to cover, I think you learned that, like, so for instance, this may be a great deal if the solar's on. Well, let's see what the price is. Well, $380 a square foot. Let's see, just so we get comfortable with the price. The pricing app. I'll bring it over to the pricing app. By the way, I don't want people to think the pricing app is the be-all, end-all. What I've learned is that as we go out and search for homes, similar homes with customers, they start getting a feel for pricing at that current state in time. Now, there's possible the whole market is a psychosis and all the prices are too high. And that's why you also rely on apps and valuations. And we'll do CMAs at the time of the property sold to make sure these prices aren't out of control. But buyers, once they get in 5 or 6 houses, start getting a feel for value in most areas. Now, if the house is really unique you're looking at, sometimes it's harder to do. But this is just a rough idea of where we start. And you know, you look at the pricing app. In this case, the price is 2.384, 2,384,000. This is 500,000 over the app. The home looks beautiful, so we would have to go and check it out. And we will look at a lot of other homes in the price range. Either I do that for you or you do it with me. And we would do a very serious CMA. We might bring in an appraiser or two if we're spending that kind of money. And I'm sure the real estate commission would be 2 or more %, which would be significant. No problem paying for an appraisal or two. And we get the value of the property down, and we negotiate. We'd find out what the solar panels are leased or owned, or a power production agreement. We'd evaluate the panels. We talk about, I know most panels degrade over time, so you're projecting that 20 years out, they might only be producing at 80% of what they're doing now, although the newer panels and the sun power people might be saying that they won't degrade as much, so they'll last longer. We look at today's power structures, because power prices change during the day, and usage. So we figure out what the time value of money of these things would be now. Then we know it's like, I don't know if any of you traded, but it's like buying a call on power. I mean, if the power goes up, you're in great shape. If somehow power went down, well, you own some nice solar panels. But I don't know too many people are expecting power to go down. What could be a good deal today could become a great deal over 10 years. So that's why I would say, as a whole, solar panels represent an opportunity for the market, and they're not being marketed by sellers as well as they should be. And buyers need, it's an opportunity for buyers if you have the right advisors. So my pitch is go to solarhomeexpert.com. Hopefully by tomorrow it'll be promulgated throughout the entire internet. I'll go to my landing page at my website at favoriterealestate.com, and we can talk. No pressure. We'll find out about what you need, and we'll see if we can work it out for you. We can work really anywhere, because even if so let me just give you a background. At some point, you're going to want those agreements analyzed. And if someone's asking you to carry back a second, if you're analyzing a lease, if you're analyzing a power production agreement, there's just so many reasons to bring a lawyer in there. And then also I would bring in someone to analyze the solar production, the panels, and the opportunity itself. And that would be part of how we advise you. And let's say you're looking in San Francisco or Sacramento or North or LA, Orange County. I have access to the MLS in Orange County and LA. I've sold houses and bought houses for investors all over up there, and sold a few for even in Laguna on the water at my brokerage with some agents. An agent or two of mine lives up there, and I have an escrow officer I love working with in Huntington Beach. I did a lot of sales with her when we were doing a lot of listings up there. So we can analyze. We've got the MLS. I would refer you to a real estate agent up there. I'd say you're well prepared. We're looking at solar. If it's mandatory for you, great. If not, it's not. We would even get a big, a nice referral fee. We could ask for 30% or 50%, and I could get paid. We could share some of that fee with you if it was a big one. But we'll put a solar expert in terms of analyzing the deal on your team, and then we'll have an attorney analyzing the agreements. And I see it as a win-win for everybody. So this is our first one. We're going to be doing this consistently. Thank you. John McConnin. You can find me at favoriterealestate.com. Solarhomeexpert.com should be forwarding to my website in the landing page. And now I need to go back to Google Hangouts and turn it off. So I'm going to stop. Thanks again.